Hello, this is Unsun with GameLeap, and today we're going to be going over some preseason leaks. There is a plethora of information on what Season 14 is going to bring, and all of it looks really exciting. There are changes to snowballing, ranked in general, and mythic items getting removed, just to name a few. Make sure that you give this video a like and come and talk about these changes with me in the comments. The ones near to the end are especially exciting for AD carries and junglers. Before we dive in, make sure that you check out GameLeap.com by clicking on the description box below to access hundreds of hours of coaching content. The courses that we offer will also be updated with preseason and Season 14, so get a head start on learning now. On to the video. Preseason hits the PBE in mid-November 2023 with the majority of these changes. First and foremost, mythic items are being removed on live in January of 2024. This is a much needed change. Fun and diverse itemization has been removed from League of Legends largely since about Season 10. I personally hated the item changes so much when they shipped that I took a big break from the game. If you're new to League of Legends and haven't experienced the game without mythics, I cannot express how exciting this should be to you. Funny builds pop out, off-meta cool stuff comes around, and most importantly, you can actually customize your build to best fit about any situation instead of being locked behind what mythic is best for my champion. Of course, certain items will remain strong on certain champions, but having a more dynamic shop allows for tons more experimentation, playtime, and really allows you to make a champion your own. The game without mythics is the true League of Legends experience, where a build is only as good as your own creativity. Hopefully, Riot does it right. There were over 10 years of this item system, and those are the years that I personally look back at as the most fun. I hope that you can say the same. The second most important change after mythics being removed has to be adjustments to terrain. Not only are we receiving a rebuilt map, but we're also receiving big changes to both objectives and the map as a whole. Plants have been in the game since about Season 7, and the current elemental drakes have been in the game since Season 10. In my opinion, they're getting kind of stale. Changes to terrain and objectives could mean many things. Elemental drakes could be reworked and maybe even replaced with something cooler. Riot could move drakes to topside and potentially make top have more impact. They could offer more rotations on the map so we can interact with each other more, or we could receive a minor change like alcoves, which still have a lasting impact on gameplay today. Plants could also receive a full overhaul. Changing them completely or simply removing them are definitely options that are available. No matter which direction is expanded upon, terrain and objective changes also freshen up the game and make it so incredibly fun for those first few weeks of release. Everyone starts on a fresh slate with new knowledge to learn, and it removes the negative experience that we're all so familiar with. Season 14 is also going to bring changes to ranked splits. Instead of 2 ranked splits, we're getting 3 completely separate ones. This means that we're going to receive 3 skins for free as long as we play enough ranked. The changes to splits are largely experimental, as stated by Riot themselves, and will probably end up going one of 2 ways. Personally, in my experience, it gets kind of tiring grinding for GM and Challenger just for it to get reset, so I'm not a fan of these changes, and this is one of the ways it could go. This, however, could be different for you. Maybe you like the feeling of a fresh start, or want to focus on learning a new aspect of the game with each split, so each split revitalizes you and makes you play more League. Please comment your feelings about these changes. I'm really curious to read all about them. Now that we covered what we know about preseason, let's go ahead and talk about after the Worlds patch 13.19. 13.20 is where a lot of the issues with the game should start getting solved. Snowballing is at an all-time high, and Riot knows it. The durability patch in 12.10 tried to pull some damage from the game, but as we all know now, this didn't really help too much. There's simply too much gold in the game at the moment, and this is due to the effects that the durability patch had on the game. To counteract the slow scaling meta that progressed in that point, Riot brought up the value of tower plates and put a huge amount of stats on Drake. Rift Herald also started paying out a full kill worth of gold to the champions in the area around it post-slaying, and extra gold to the Slayer themselves. These are the changes that Riot is looking at the most. In its current iteration, a Drake kill is worth about 2,000 gold to a team in just raw stats, give or take. It's not hard to see why this is so strong. A reduction of snowballing has a secondary effect. It makes the game less frustrating to play because mistakes don't matter as much and removes from that hopeless feeling so many players have currently. I'm sure that every single person watching this video has encountered more intentional feeders, griefers, and trolls this season than most other seasons. This is why. Bounties will more than likely get looked at as well, since you're punished just as hard for winning as you are rewarded for being behind and getting a kill. These are super positive changes with a really good look to them. Marksman and ADC in general are being looked at for a crit item buff. Crit items really suck. They're unfun to build, don't feel like they do much, and have pretty bad damage overall. Riot themselves stated that the 13.10 item rework was meant to be about a 10% nerf to marksman, and it's definitely showing. Riot acknowledged this issue and are currently investigating some changes that will ship before preseason begins, hopefully. So this means that ADCs, crit items will probably get most of their damage back. This is really cool. Every ADC player knows that the role is overpowered in pro play, but solo queue is a different beast and the role is largely reliant on your support and your team in general. Hopefully, these changes remove some of this reliance and also make you feel impactful as an individual instead of being a late game gold to damage converter. Jungle is also being looked at under the microscope. Riot themselves acknowledge that the role is overpowered, but states that this is a good thing. The reason for this is jungle player retention. If jungle is weak, no one wants to play it, it's as simple as that. So as a result, Riot is looking to reduce the power of jungle, but not in unfun ways like before. This means that we get yet another jungle rework, and hopefully this will finally solve the spam gank issue while also rewarding players for good pathing. I know a lot of junglers are unhappy with the state of jungle, so this announcement brings me a lot of hope personally. Let's pray that the skill cap of the role is increased. It's still fun to play, but jungle isn't the 1v9 feast or famine Exodia role it currently is. It is also quite apparent that every single jungler gets bullied in basically every game. This is not cool, and I'm sure that nobody wants to deal with this. Hopefully with a reduction of jungle agency, this means that you'll get spam pinged and told mean things a lot less. And finally, last but not least, the Cassante rework has not been forgotten. Cassante is slated to receive some changes after Worlds that make him more accessible to the average player and reduce his broken nature in pro play. The exact changes haven't been leaked yet, but this being on the table instead of being tossed to the side is very good for the game's health overall. We do not need more champions like Azir that are destined for pro players and not for us. Riot has done a pretty good job at balancing Ryze, Akali, Irelia, and some of the other pro-tied champions. Hopefully Cassante and Azir will also get the work that they need to be viable picks that aren't completely overpowered, that can also help shape up the pro play scene. Anyways, this was Unsung with GameLeap. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Make sure that you check out the GameLeap.com website by clicking on the description box below. I'll see you guys all in the next video.